descendants of the finest dragon fighters from everywhere the Vikings ever traveled. These beasts are a threat to all of our lands. It's time, Hiccup.
Yes, so good. That was a look right there at How to Train Your Dragon, the stunning live-action reimagining of the beloved animated film, hitting theaters this week, Friday. Joining us now to share his experience returning to the franchise is the Canadian visionary behind it all, and it's director Dean DeBlois. Welcome, Dean.
Thank you very much.
Nice to see you.
Super excited to be here.
This movie is something else. It is amazing. I got a chance to see it last week. We're all familiar with what you did in the animated world. Now to see this live action. So talk about the creative challenges along the way. You take something that's, been animated and a huge success, and you turn that into like real life, like real dragons.
Right.
Real dragons this
That's
time.
the crux of it, right? If we could deliver dragons that feel photoreal and still retain their personality from the animated movies, then we could deliver something really special, because then the wish fulfillment is amplified. If it's grounded, if it feels believable, if the dragons feel like you could reach out and touch them or fly on them.
They sure were. And there were some dragons in there that I thought, I'd never seen you before as a dragon. Did you create some new ones?
There are a few that were in the Book of Dragons that were not in the original animated movie, and we did populate the skies with them and have them around. But yeah, it was a tricky process. We had to work backward. Okay. So if you think of the animated movies as being sort of caricatured and stylized and in some ways simplified, we worked backwards so that what were the animals that inspired those designs? And so we really referenced the animals that inspire each dragon. So we've got crocodiles and or tropical birds, or in the case of Toothless, a big black panther. He's a panther mixed with a salamander. And so we really studied the big cats and their movement. And even though we kept a lot of the facial expression so we could retain the personality, they do feel much more a part of the animal kingdom this way.
Revisiting these characters, not just the dragons, but the actual characters, what was that like for you, Dean?
Well, that's amazing. Again, I didn't want to be saddled by what the characters look like necessarily in the animated movies. And so when casting, we were looking for the spirit who best embodied the character within. And our casting director brought us amazing options for every character. So we weren't simply trying to ape Jay Baruchel or America Ferrera. We were looking for someone who could bring their own spin to it. And in Mason Thames and Nico Parker, who play Hiccup and Astrid respectively, they grew up with these movies. And so it's part of their childhood. It's their Star Wars. And so they really relate to these characters. In fact, Mason Thames used to dress up as Hiccup for Halloween.
That's so cool.
So it was quite an opportunity for him to be able to revisit his childhood hero.
And to see Gerard Butler in it, you see him in his entirety as a person. He must have really enjoyed getting down and dirty with this role. The live action. Yeah,
enjoyed tempered with misery, because his costume weighed 100 pounds.
I was going to say, it's huge on him. He's a big man to begin with.
He is. But it really put him in character, So he's a emotionally burdened and physically burdened chieftain of this tribe. And having all of that just put him in character. It was just a lot, though. It was hours and hours in the makeup chair and the costume fittings. But who better than Gerard Butler to reprise his character, because he co-created the role, So it's a very near and dear to his heart.
You're so familiar with the animated world, but now you're on set of this huge production. Was it ever overwhelming for you, or were you ready?
Of course, yeah.
Can you talk
I've watched so many behind-the-scenes documentaries about how movies are made, and I had an inkling of what everybody does and the pace at which it happens, but stepping into those sets for the first time, like we built it for real. We built a Viking village.
Right now, look at this.
We built this amazing training arena, and it's just the amount of craftsmanship and love that goes into everything, and the costuming. When you walk in there, you really are. It's no longer sort of drawing and creating digitally. You're in the space, and it's really really incredible.
I wish we had an hour with you because there's so many more questions, but we don't. We have to go to a commercial break. The movie hits theaters this Friday. It's so good. You don't want to miss it. You got to go see it. Thank you for your time today. Thanks for coming in, Dean. How to Train Your Dragon in theaters this Friday. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but more with Breakfast Television after the break. Come on back and join us.